1946. Brooklyn, New York. Don Philip Tattaglia controls the prostitution rackets across New York City. The Tattaglia family runs nightclubs, escort services, and the narcotics trade. Philip Tattaglia sits in his brownstone counting money from a dozen establishments. He believes he is untouchable. Tattaglia partners with Virgil Sollozzo. The drug kingpin needs protection, needs political connections, needs the kind of power only the five families can provide. Sollozzo approaches the Corleones first. Vito Corleone refuses, says no to narcotics, says no to poison in the neighborhood. Tattaglia sees opportunity. He backs Sollozzo completely, provides men, provides money, provides the muscle to make the drug trade work. Together they plan something bold, something dangerous. They will eliminate Don Vito Corleone. Force the Corleone family to accept the heroin business. Split the profits three ways with Don Emilio Barzini. Tattaglia believes the alliance makes him powerful, believes Barzini's backing makes him untouchable, believes the Corleones are finished. He tells his captains, Vito is old, his sons are weak, we take New York. His underboss Bruno Tattaglia agrees. His soldiers prepare for war. The Tattaglia family strikes first. Luca Brasi dies at the Luna Bar, strangled with piano wire, first blood drawn, then the real move. December 1945. Tattaglia's men shoot Vito Corleone 5 times outside his fruit stand. Leave him bleeding on the sidewalk. The message is clear. The Tattaglia family bows to no one. What Philip Tattaglia doesn't see. Vito Corleone survives. Michael Corleone returns from Sicily. And a young college boy is about to become something far more dangerous than any streetwise Don could imagine. The war explodes across New York. Tattaglia soldiers hit Corleone businesses, burn warehouses, shoot up gambling dens, attack truck convoys carrying olive oil. The five families' war begins with blood and fire. Sonny Corleone takes command while his father recovers. Santino is hot-tempered, aggressive, everything Vito is not. He orders immediate retaliation. Clemenza's regime strikes back. Tessio's men hunt Tattaglia captains in the streets. Bodies pile up on both sides. The newspapers call it a gang war. The police look the other way. Everyone has been paid. Tattaglia sits in his Brooklyn headquarters, counts his advantages. His alliance with Barzini gives him muscle. His partnership with the Cuneo and Strachey families gives him numbers. His control of the drug trade gives him money. He believes the Corleones are isolated, believes they cannot win a war on 5 fronts, believes victory is inevitable. But then Bruno Tattaglia dies. Sonny Corleone orders the hit personally. Clemenza's men find Bruno at his nightclub in the Bronx, 3 shots to the chest. Bruno bleeds out on his own dance floor while the band plays and customers run screaming. Philip Tattaglia loses his eldest son, his heir, his future. The loss enrages him. Tattaglia demands revenge, demands Corleone blood. Barzini counsels patience, says the war must be managed carefully, says rushing leads to mistakes. But Tattaglia cannot wait. He wants Sonny Corleone dead, wants the entire Corleone family destroyed. His hatred blinds him. Michael Corleone returns from Sicily in early 1946, the college boy who went to war, the son who wanted nothing to do with the family business. He arrives quietly, no fanfare, no announcements. Just another Corleone returning home. Tattaglia's intelligence network reports it. Philip dismisses the information, says Michael is nobody, just another son, no threat, no importance. The war continues through winter, through spring, into summer. Tattaglia loses soldiers, loses territory, loses money. His nightclubs are firebombed, his brothels are raided. His drug shipments are intercepted. The Corleone family strikes with precision, with intelligence, with a ruthlessness that surprises him. Then Carlo Rizzi provides the opportunity. Connie Corleone's husband, a man with debts, with resentments, with connections to the Barzini family. He beats Connie one afternoon in July. Beats her badly enough that she calls Sonny crying. Sonny races to help his sister, drives alone, furious, unprotected, straight into the trap waiting at the Jones Beach Causeway toll booth. Barzini's men riddle Sonny with bullets, 20 shots, 30, more. They keep firing until the gun barrels smoke, until Sonny Corleone lies dead in his bullet-riddled car, until the toll booth attendant vomits from the carnage. The message is delivered. The Corleones have lost their heir, their muscle, their future Don. Tattaglia celebrates, opens champagne in his Brooklyn office, toasts Sonny's death with his captains, believes the war is won, believes the Corleones will surrender, believes Vito will accept terms. He waits for the phone call, waits for Tom Hagen to negotiate peace, waits for victory. The call comes, but it is not surrender. It is an invitation. Vito Corleone requests a meeting, a peace summit, representatives from all 5 families, neutral ground, safe passage guaranteed. Tattaglia agrees immediately. He wants to savor the moment, wants to see Vito's defeat in person, wants to dictate terms to the once mighty godfather. The meeting happens at a Manhattan office building. All the Dons attend. Barzini, Cuneo, Strachey, Tattaglia, and Vito Corleone, still recovering from his wounds, still moving slowly, but alive, present, unbroken. Tattaglia speaks first, demands the Corleones open their political protection to the drug trade, demands territory in the Bronx, demands financial compensation for Bruno's death. He lists his terms with confidence, with certainty, with the assurance of a man who believes he has won. But then Barzini speaks. Don Emilio Barzini, the real power behind the war. He sets the actual terms, demands the Corleones share their judges, share their politicians, share their police protection. Open all of New York to narcotics trafficking. Barzini speaks with authority, with command, with the voice of the true puppet master. Vito Corleone listens, agrees to the terms, promises there will be no more war, no more killing, no more revenge. He looks at Tattaglia when he speaks, says the words directly to him, swears on his grandson's life that the fighting ends today. Tattaglia believes him, believes the war is over, believes he is safe. Vito leaves the meeting, enters the car with Tom Hagen, sits in silence for several blocks. Then he speaks, says the words that change everything. Tattaglia is a pimp. He never could have outfought Santino. But I didn't know until this day that it was Barzini all along. The realization comes too late for the Corleones to act immediately. But it comes, and with it comes understanding. Tattaglia was never the real enemy, never the mastermind, never the threat. He was the front man, the puppet, the fool who believed he was a king. Michael listens to his father's words, studies the situation, begins planning. The college boy who killed Sollozzo and McCluskey, the son who returned from Sicily with dead eyes. He sees what must be done, sees how it must happen, sees the trap that will destroy all 5 families at once. What Philip Tattaglia does not understand, peace is temporary, protection is an illusion, and Michael Corleone is preparing something that will reshape the entire New York underworld in a single day. Summer 1955. 9 years pass. The peace holds. Tattaglia rebuilds his empire, opens new nightclubs in Manhattan, expands his operations into New Jersey. Partners with union bosses and corrupt politicians. The war years fade into memory. His businesses flourish. His power grows. He believes the Corleones accepted defeat. Vito Corleone dies in July. Heart attack in his garden while playing with his grandson. The newspapers print obituaries. The other Dons send flowers. The funeral draws thousands. Philip Tattaglia attends. Pays his respects. Stands in the back of the church watching. He sees Michael Corleone standing at the casket. Young, quiet, composed. Tattaglia dismisses him. Just another son burying his father. Nothing more. Michael takes control of the family. Becomes Don. The transition appears smooth. No violence. No power struggle. Just a son stepping into his father's place. The other families watch. Wait. Wonder if this college boy can lead. Wonder if he has the strength his father possessed. Wonder if the Corleones remain a threat. Tattaglia returns to his routines. His pleasures. His life. He spends nights at his clubs. Drinks expensive wine. Enjoys female companionship. He owns a bungalow off Sunrise Highway in Long Island. A private retreat. Somewhere away from the city. Away from business. Away from the eyes of rivals and police. He goes there often. Takes women there. Feels safe behind closed doors. What Tattaglia does not know, Michael Corleone is planning. Has been planning since his father revealed the truth years ago. Has been watching, waiting, preparing, building toward a moment that will come soon. Michael meets with his most trusted men: Tom Hagen, Peter Clemenza, Sal Tessio, Rocco Lampone, Al Neri. He speaks quietly, gives orders precisely. Each man receives a target. Each man receives instructions. Each man understands the stakes. They will strike all 5 families simultaneously, decapitate the entire New York underworld in one coordinated attack. Clemenza gets Don Strachey, the elevator, the shotgun, simple, direct, effective. Al Neri gets Don Barzini, the courthouse steps, the police uniform, the pistol, theatrical, public, unmistakable. Willie Chichi gets Don Cuneo, the revolving doors, the hotel lobby, the trap, symbolic, brutal, complete. Rocco Lampone gets Don Philip Tattaglia. The assignment comes with specific details: location confirmed, habits documented, timing synchronized. Rocco accepts without question. He has killed for the Corleones before. He will kill again. Michael plans the attack for a specific day, a sacred day, his nephew's baptism. He will stand as godfather to Connie's son, will speak holy vows in church, will renounce Satan and all his works. And while he speaks those words, his soldiers will execute every enemy the family has. The symbolism is not lost on him, becoming godfather in 2 ways: spiritual and criminal, sacred and profane. The preparations take months: intelligence gathering, surveillance, learning patterns. Tattaglia goes to his Long Island bungalow every Thursday night, arrives at 8, stays until morning. Always brings a woman, always the same routine, always predictable. Rocco watches from a distance, notes the guards, notes the layout, notes everything. Tattaglia believes the peace treaty protects him, believes 9 years of quiet means safety, believes Michael Corleone is focused on legitimate business. The family has moved operations to Las Vegas, opened casinos, distanced themselves from New York rackets. Everything suggests the Corleones are withdrawing, becoming less dangerous, becoming irrelevant. Don Barzini grows bolder, begins moving into Corleone territories, takes gambling operations in the Bronx, takes loan sharking in Queens. Michael allows it, offers no resistance, appears weak, appears defeated. The other Dons grow confident. They believe the young Don cannot hold what his father built. They believe the Corleone family is finished as a power. Only Tom Hagen understands. Only the consigliere sees the strategy. Michael is not weak. He is patient, not defeated. He is planning, not retreating. He is preparing for total war. Tom watches Michael work, sees the cold calculation, sees the ruthless precision, sees something darker than Vito ever possessed. Tattaglia celebrates his survival. 10 years since the war began, 9 years since peace was made. He has outlasted the violence, outlasted the vengeance. His son Bruno is avenged through Sonny's death. His businesses thrive. His power is secure. He throws a party at his Brooklyn social club, drinks champagne, laughs with his captains, boasts about his cleverness. That same night, Michael sits in his Lake Tahoe compound, reviews the plans one final time. 5 targets, 5 teams, 1 moment. Everything must happen simultaneously. Everything must be coordinated. Everything must be perfect. He sets the date. 3 weeks away. The baptism is scheduled. The pieces are in position. The trap is ready. Rocco Lampone receives his final briefing. Thursday night. The bungalow off Sunrise Highway. Tattaglia will be there with a woman. 1 guard outside. Standard security. Rocco will bring another soldier. 2 men. Enough for the job. They will enter through the front door. Weapons ready. No hesitation. No mercy. Complete the assignment and leave immediately. The weeks pass. Tattaglia continues his routine, continues his pleasures, continues his life. He has no idea what is coming. No idea that every move is watched. No idea that Rocco Lampone knows his schedule better than his own captains do. Michael baptism approaches. The church is chosen. The priest is selected. The ceremony is planned. And while the Catholic rituals proceed, while Michael speaks Latin prayers, while the organ plays sacred music, 5 assassination teams will move into position across New York. Tattaglia makes plans for that Thursday, reserves his regular table at a Manhattan restaurant, arranges for female companionship, looks forward to another pleasant evening at his Long Island retreat, another night of wine and comfort, another night of believing he is untouchable. Everything is ready. The soldiers are prepared. The weapons are loaded. The targets are confirmed. Michael Corleone has orchestrated the most ambitious attack in New York mafia history. And Don Philip Tattaglia, sitting in his Brooklyn office counting money, has absolutely no idea his final night is 3 days away. Thursday, September 1955, the day before the baptism. Philip Tattaglia wakes in his Brooklyn brownstone, drinks espresso, reads the morning papers. Another ordinary day. Another week of business and pleasure. He has no appointments scheduled, no meetings planned. Just an evening at his Long Island retreat. Just another Thursday night. Across the city, Michael Corleone attends morning mass with his family. Kay stands beside him. His children sit quietly in the pew. He prays. He reflects. Tomorrow he becomes godfather to his nephew. Tomorrow he speaks sacred vows. Tomorrow everything changes. He shows no emotion, no anxiety, no anticipation. Just the cold calm of a man who has made his decision. Rocco Lampone and his partner meet in a safe house in Queens. They review the plan one final time. The bungalow off Sunrise Highway, second house from the corner, white shutters, red door. One guard outside. Tattaglia arrives at 8. They move at 9. 1 hour window, simple extraction, clean execution. They check their weapons, load the magazines, wrap the guns in cloth. Everything is prepared. At the Corleone compound, Tom Hagen makes phone calls, confirms each team is ready. Clemenza reports his position near the hotel where Strachey conducts business. Al Neri confirms he has the police uniform. Willie Chichi is already watching the hotel with the revolving doors. Every piece is in place. Every soldier understands his assignment. Tom relays the information to Michael. Michael nods, says nothing, returns to his family. Tattaglia spends the afternoon at his social club, plays cards with his captains, discusses business. A shipment arrives next week. New girls for the clubs. Union negotiations need attention. Everything routine, everything normal. He laughs, he smokes cigars, he counts money from the previous night's take. His world feels secure. At 5 in the evening, Tattaglia makes his arrangements, calls a woman he knows, tells her to meet him at 8, gives her the Long Island address. She agrees. She always agrees. He has paid her well for years, paid for her apartment, paid for her lifestyle. She asks no questions, expects no explanations, just arrives when summoned and leaves in the morning. Tattaglia's driver brings the car around at 7. A black Cadillac, new, expensive, comfortable. Tattaglia sits in the back seat, lights a cigar, watches Brooklyn pass by the window. The drive to Long Island takes 40 minutes. He arrives at the bungalow at 7:40. His guard is already there, standing outside, watching the street. Tattaglia enters, turns on the lights, pours himself wine, waits for the woman to arrive. She arrives at 8 sharp, knocks on the red door. Tattaglia answers. She enters. They talk briefly, small conversation, nothing important. He pours her wine. They sit on the couch. The guard remains outside. Everything proceeds as it always does. Every Thursday, every week, for years. What Philip Tattaglia does not know, Rocco Lampone is 3 blocks away, parked in a dark sedan, watching the clock, waiting for 9. His partner sits beside him, both men silent, both men focused, both men ready. They have done this before. They will do it again. Just another contract, just another target, just another night's work for the Corleone family. At the church, final preparations continue. The priest reviews the ceremony. The altar boys practice their positions. The organ is tuned. Fresh flowers decorate the sanctuary. Tomorrow morning at 10, Michael Corleone will stand at the baptismal font, will hold his nephew, will speak the ancient words. And while those words echo through the church, 5 men will die across New York City. Tom Hagen makes one final call, speaks to each team leader, confirms timing. Tomorrow, 10 in the morning. The baptism begins. The strikes commence. Simultaneous, coordinated, perfect. He hangs up the phone, pours himself a drink, thinks about what tomorrow means. The end of the 5 families as they exist, the beginning of Michael's reign, the completion of a plan years in the making. Tattaglia finishes his second glass of wine, relaxes into the evening. The woman laughs at something he says. The guard outside smokes a cigarette. The neighborhood is quiet, residential, safe. No mob activity here, no violence, no danger. Just another Long Island street where families sleep and children play, where a Don can disappear for one night and feel completely secure. 9 o'clock approaches. Rocco checks his watch, nods to his partner. They exit the car, walk casually down the street. 2 men in dark suits. Nothing unusual, nothing threatening. Just businessmen walking. They approach the bungalow, see the guard outside, see the lights in the windows, see the Cadillac parked in the driveway. Inside, Tattaglia stands to pour more wine. The woman sits on the couch adjusting her hair. The radio plays soft music. Jazz, Sinatra, the American dream, success, pleasure, security. Everything Tattaglia worked decades to achieve. Everything he believes cannot be taken from him. Rocco and his partner reach the front walk. The guard notices them, reaches for his weapon. Too slow. Rocco fires twice. Silenced pistol. Muffled shots. The guard drops. They step over his body. Reach the red door. Rocco tries the handle. Locked. He kicks it once. Hard. The frame splinters. The door swings open. Tattaglia turns toward the sound. Sees 2 men entering. Sees guns raised. Sees death arriving in his private sanctuary. His face registers shock, confusion, recognition. He opens his mouth to speak, to protest, to ask why. But there is no time for questions, no time for explanations, no time for anything. Tomorrow the baptism happens. Tomorrow Michael becomes godfather. Tomorrow the entire underworld learns what happens when you underestimate a Corleone. But tonight, in a quiet Long Island bungalow, Don Philip Tattaglia's time runs out. The man who believed Barzini's protection made him untouchable. The man who thought peace meant safety. The man who never understood that Michael Corleone forgets nothing and forgives nothing. Rocco's finger tightens on the trigger. The moment arrives. And everything Don Philip Tattaglia believed about power and protection and survival proves to be nothing more than a comfortable lie told by a pimp who should have known better. Saturday morning, September 1955, 10 o'clock. The bells of St. Patrick's Cathedral ring across Manhattan. Michael Corleone stands at the baptismal font. His family surrounds him. Kay holds the baby. Connie weeps with joy. The priest begins the ceremony, opens his book, speaks the ancient Latin words. The organ plays. Deep, sacred, solemn, the cathedral fills with sound. Light streams through stained glass windows, paints the marble floor in colors, red, blue, gold. Everything is holy, everything is pure, everything is blessed. Long Island, the bungalow. Rocco Lampone enters through the shattered door. His partner follows. Weapons raised. Tattaglia stands frozen. The woman screams. Rocco fires. 3 shots. Center mass. Tattaglia falls backward, crashes into the table. Wine glasses shatter. Red liquid spreads across white carpet. His eyes go wide, shocked, disbelieving, dying. The woman runs toward the bedroom. Rocco's partner turns, fires twice. She drops, falls across the threshold. Silent, still, gone. 2 bodies, 10 seconds. Mission complete. The cathedral. The priest speaks. Michael, do you renounce Satan? Michael's voice is steady, clear, strong. I do renounce him. The baby cries. Kay rocks him gently. The congregation watches, respectful, reverent, unaware. Brooklyn. The Street Albans Hotel. Don Victor Strachey exits the elevator. Peter Clemenza waits in the lobby, hidden behind a pillar, wearing a long coat. The elevator doors close behind Strachey. His bodyguard walks beside him. They move toward the street, confident, unhurried, safe. Clemenza steps out, raises the shotgun, fires. The blast echoes through the marble lobby. Strachey's chest explodes. He flies backward, slams into the wall, slides down, leaves a red smear. The bodyguard reaches for his weapon. Too slow. Clemenza fires again. The bodyguard drops. 2 shots, 2 bodies. Clemenza walks away, drops the shotgun, exits through the side door. The cathedral. Do you renounce all his works? Michael responds. I do renounce them. The priest continues, reads from the book. The ritual proceeds. Holy water, blessed oil, sacred words spoken over an innocent child, while across the city, men die in blood and violence. Midtown Manhattan. The hotel with the revolving doors. Don Carmine Cuneo leaves through the lobby. His guards surround him. 3 men, armed, professional. They enter the revolving door together. Willie Chichi waits across the street, watches the rotation, watches Cuneo's position, waits for the perfect moment. The door brings Cuneo to the outside section, separated from his guards. Alone in the glass compartment. Willie crosses the street, raises his pistol, fires through the glass. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. The glass spiderwebs. Cuneo slumps. The door keeps rotating, brings his body around. Around again, trapped in perpetual motion. His guards scramble. Try to stop the mechanism. Try to reach their Don. Too late. Willie disappears into the crowd. The cathedral. The priest makes the sign of the cross, touches the baby's forehead. I baptize you in the name of the Father. Holy water drips. The congregation murmurs prayers. Michael stands perfectly still. His face shows nothing. No emotion, no reaction, no humanity. Las Vegas, the Flamingo Hotel. Mo Green lies face down on a massage table, relaxed, comfortable. A masseuse works his shoulders. He breathes deeply, eyes closed, unaware. A man in a white coat enters, carries a towel, approaches the table. The masseuse steps aside. The man raises a pistol, places it against the back of Mo's head, fires once. The shot cracks through the quiet room. Mo's body jerks, goes still. The assassin walks out. The masseuse stands frozen, silent, terrified. The cathedral. And of the sun. More holy water, more prayers. The baby stops crying, looks up at Michael with innocent eyes, knows nothing of what his godfather is, knows nothing of the blood being spilled in his name. Manhattan, the New York County Courthouse. Don Emilio Barzini exits down the wide stone steps. His bodyguards flank him. 4 men, watching the street, watching the crowd, watching everything except the police officer standing at the bottom of the stairs. Al Neri wears the uniform perfectly. Cap, badge, gun belt. He looks like every other cop in the city. Barzini walks past him, dismissive, unconcerned. Police are paid. Police are controlled. Police are no threat. Al draws his service revolver, fires, 5 shots, rapid, precise, professional. Barzini staggers, clutches his chest, falls forward, tumbles down the remaining steps, lands in a heap at the bottom. His bodyguards draw weapons. Too late. Al is already moving, already disappearing into the courthouse, already gone. The cathedral. And of the Holy Spirit, the final blessing, the ritual complete. The priest hands the baby back to Connie. Michael steps back from the font. The congregation applauds softly. Kay smiles, takes Michael's arm. They walk down the aisle together, husband and wife, godfather and godmother. A perfect family moment, a beautiful ceremony, a blessed occasion. Outside the cathedral, Tom Hagen waits. He sees Michael emerge, sees the family following. He approaches quietly, leans close, whispers 2 words. It's done. Michael nods once. Shows nothing. Says nothing. Just walks to the car, gets inside, drives away with his family. Long Island. Rocco Lampone exits the bungalow, steps over the guard's body. His partner follows. They walk to their car, drive away slowly, calmly. 2 businessmen leaving a neighborhood. Nothing unusual, nothing suspicious. Behind them, the red door hangs open. Inside, 2 bodies lie in spreading pools. The wine stain and the blood stain mixed together on the white carpet. Indistinguishable, identical, both red, both permanent, both proof that protection was always an illusion. Manhattan, police sirens begin. Multiple locations. Brooklyn, Midtown, the courthouse. Las Vegas gets the call minutes later. 5 Dons, 5 locations, 5 simultaneous hits. The coordination is obvious. The message is clear. The Corleone family just decapitated the entire New York underworld in less than 15 minutes. At the Corleone compound, the phone rings. Tom Hagen answers. Listens. Hangs up. Calls the next number. Confirms. Calls again. Confirms. 5 calls. 5 confirmations. 5 families now without leadership. He walks to Michael's office. Michael sits behind the desk, the same desk his father sat behind for 40 years. Tom speaks quietly. Strachey, Cuneo, Tattaglia, Barzini, Green, all confirmed. Michael stands, looks out the window, sees his children playing in the garden, sees Kay arranging flowers, sees the life he built on top of bodies and blood. He turns back to Tom. His face is stone. His eyes are dead. He speaks 4 words. Now we consolidate power. In Long Island, neighbors discover the scene. Call the police. Detectives arrive. Photograph the bodies. Document the evidence. Don Philip Tattaglia, age 62. Multiple gunshot wounds. Dead in his private bungalow. The woman beside him, name unknown, also dead. The guard outside, also dead. No witnesses, no suspects, no leads. The newspapers print the story the next morning. 5 mob bosses killed in coordinated attack. The end of an era. The beginning of something new, something colder. Something more ruthless than anything the old Dons could have imagined. They print Michael Corleone's photo, caption it, "The New Godfather." And in a quiet Long Island bungalow, Philip Tattaglia lies in the morgue. The man who believed Barzini's protection made him untouchable. The man who never understood that Michael Corleone was not his father, was not bound by old rules, was not interested in peace, only in total dominance, only in absolute control, only in ensuring that no one ever threatens his family again. It is over. The baptism is complete. The massacre is finished. And Don Philip Tattaglia learned his final lesson 3 seconds too late. The news spreads through the underworld within hours. 5 Dons dead, same day, same time, coordinated, precise, impossible to be coincidence. The remaining capos and soldiers realize what happened. Michael Corleone just eliminated the entire commission in one morning. The old order is dead. A new one is being born. The Tattaglia family reacts first. Rocco Tattaglia, Philip's younger brother, receives the phone call at noon. His brother is dead, murdered in Long Island. He sits in stunned silence. Rocco is not a warrior, not a strategist, not a leader. He ran legitimate businesses for the family, restaurants, laundromats, legal fronts. Now he inherits a crime family at war. Inherits territory without the knowledge to hold it. Inherits enemies without the strength to fight them. Rocco calls an emergency meeting. The Tattaglia captains gather. They discuss options. Revenge seems impossible. The Corleones are too strong, too organized, too ruthless. Someone suggests negotiation. Someone suggests surrender. Someone suggests fleeing New York entirely. The family that backed Sollozzo, that shot Vito Corleone, that started the 5 Families War. Now reduced to frightened men arguing in a Brooklyn social club, the Barzini family collapses faster. Without Don Emilio, there is no leadership, no vision, no control. His underboss tries to take command. The other captains refuse. They fight among themselves. Accuse each other. Suspect traitors in their ranks. Within 3 days, the Barzini captains are negotiating separately with Michael Corleone, offering tribute, offering territory, offering loyalty, anything to survive. The Strachey family fragments completely. Victor Strachey's sons are young, inexperienced. They cannot hold what their father built. Rival families move in immediately. Take gambling operations. Take loan sharking territories. Take trucking routes. The Strachey empire that took 30 years to build disappears in 30 days. The Cuneo family survives slightly better. Carmine Cuneo's brother assumes control. He is smarter than Rocco Tattaglia, more ruthless than Strachey's sons. He reaches out to Michael within the first week, offers peace, offers cooperation, offers a percentage of all Cuneo operations in exchange for being allowed to continue existing. Michael accepts. The Cuneo family becomes a Corleone subsidiary, still operating, still making money, but answering to a new Don. Michael moves quickly to consolidate. Tom Hagen meets with each surviving family, explains the new reality. The Corleone family controls New York now, controls the politicians, controls the judges, controls the police. Any family that wants to operate must pay tribute, must seek permission, must acknowledge Michael as the new boss of bosses. Most agree immediately. The alternative is obvious. The legitimate world reacts with shock. The newspapers print headlines. Mob war ends in bloodbath. 5 crime bosses slain. New mafia don emerges. Reporters write about the coordination, the precision, the ruthlessness. They call it the baptism massacre. The name sticks, becomes legend. becomes the moment that changed organized crime forever. The FBI opens investigations. Agents interview witnesses, collect evidence, build cases. They find nothing useful. No witnesses saw the shooters clearly. No forensics connect anyone to the crimes. No informants dare speak. The Corleone family's planning was perfect. The execution was flawless. The FBI files grow thick with speculation and thin with proof. Congress holds hearings. Senators demand action. Prosecutors promise investigations. Police commissioners pledge crackdowns. Nothing changes. The politicians who matter are already owned. The judges who matter are already paid. The system that the Corleones built over 40 years protects them now. Michael Corleone attends no hearings, answers no questions, remains untouchable. Kay discovers the truth slowly. She reads the newspapers, sees the dates, realizes the murders happened during the baptism. During the ceremony where her husband became godfather, she confronts Michael, asks directly, "Was it you? Did you order this?" Michael lies smoothly, says he was in church, says he has alibis, says the timing is coincidence. Kay wants to believe him, tries to believe him, fails to believe him. She sees the truth in his eyes, sees the monster she married, sees the life she chose. Connie learns about Carlo. Her husband helped kill Sonny, helped set the trap at the toll booth, worked for Barzini all along. Michael has Clemenza handle it. Carlo is strangled in a car, garroted from behind, dumped in a parking lot. When Connie hears the news, she screams at Michael, calls him a murderer, calls him a monster. Michael says nothing, shows nothing, lets her rage, lets her grieve, knows she will accept it eventually, knows family always comes back. The Tattaglia territories are absorbed within 2 months. Michael's men take over the nightclubs, the brothels, the gambling dens, everything Philip Tattaglia built, everything he died trying to protect. Now flying Corleone colours, now paying Corleone tribute, now part of Michael's empire. Rocco Tattaglia tries to manage what remains, tries to hold Brooklyn, tries to maintain some dignity. He fails at everything. The captains ignore him, the soldiers mock him, the money stops flowing. Within 6 months, Rocco brings the family to bankruptcy. He sells assets to pay debts, sells properties to cover losses, sells everything his brother and father built over 30 years. By 1956, the Tattaglia family is finished as an independent power. Rocco steps down, hands control to the consigliere, Osvaldo Altobello. Altobello immediately pledges loyalty to Michael Corleone. The Tattaglia name remains. The organization continues. But now they are servants, vassals, subordinates to the family they once fought. Michael's power becomes absolute. He controls Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, parts of New Jersey, Las Vegas. He has judges in 5 states, senators in 3, police captains in every major city. The empire Vito built is now doubled, tripled, expanded beyond anything the old Don imagined. But the cost is visible. Michael's face grows harder, his eyes grow colder, his smile disappears completely. Kay stops asking questions, stops confronting him, stops trying to reach the man she married. That man is gone, died somewhere between Sicily and New York, between College Boy and Don, between Michael Corleone and the Godfather. The other families adjust to the new reality. They pay tribute, they seek permission, they acknowledge Michael's authority. The old ways are finished. The commission as it existed is dead. Now there is only Michael, only the Corleone family, only one voice that matters in the New York underworld. Tom Hagen manages the expansion, coordinates the tribute collections, negotiates the territorial divisions, resolves the disputes. He works 18-hour days, builds the infrastructure, creates the systems, turns Michael's violent conquest into stable governance, turns blood into business. Peter Clemenza is rewarded, given all of Strachey's territory, becomes one of the most powerful capo regimes in New York. His regime grows to 50 soldiers, controls unions, controls docks, controls shipping, everything he always wanted, everything his loyalty earned. Rocco Lampone is promoted, becomes Michael's personal enforcer, the man who killed Tattaglia, the soldier who never hesitates, the gun that always fires when pointed. Michael trusts him completely, depends on him absolutely. Rocco will kill anyone, anytime, anywhere, without question, without hesitation, without remorse. The old neighborhood changes. Little Italy transforms. The Corleone influence spreads. New businesses open. Old businesses close. Everyone pays tribute. Everyone shows respect. Everyone understands that the Godfather's reach extends everywhere, that his memory is perfect, that his patience is endless, that his revenge is inevitable. Philip Tattaglia's bungalow sits empty for years. No one will buy it. No one will rent it. The neighborhood knows what happened there, knows whose blood stained that carpet. Real estate agents refuse to show it. The price drops again. Eventually it sells at auction. A family moves in. They know nothing of its history, know nothing of the Don who died there. Know nothing that on one Saturday morning in 1955, this quiet Long Island house became part of the legend, part of the story, part of the baptism massacre that changed organized crime forever. The immediate aftermath settles. The violence ends. The power shifts complete. Michael Corleone sits in his father's office, behind his father's desk, in his father's chair, but ruling in his own way, colder, harder, more ruthless, the college boy who went to war, the son who wanted out, the man who became everything he tried to escape. And in a Brooklyn cemetery, Philip Tattaglia lies in a grave next to his son Bruno, father and son, both dead because they underestimated the Corleones, both killed in a war they thought they could win, both buried with the secret they learned too late, that Michael Corleone is not his father, that the new Godfather plays by different rules, that in the modern mafia there is no such thing as protection, no such thing as safety, no such thing as being untouchable. 7 years after the baptism massacre, the New York underworld is unrecognizable. The five-family structure is gone, replaced by a single dominant power. The Corleone family controls everything. Michael sits at the center of an empire his father could never have imagined. The Tattaglia name still exists but means nothing. Rocco Tattaglia died in 1961. Natural causes. Heart attack. The stress of losing everything killed him as surely as a bullet. Osvaldo Altobello runs what remains of the organization. A handful of soldiers. A few small operations. They exist at Michael's pleasure. They operate at Michael's discretion. They survive because Michael allows it. The other families learned their lesson. The Cuneos pay tribute quietly. Never complain. Never resist. Never challenge. They remember Carmine trapped in the revolving door. Remember the glass shattering. Remember what happens when you stand against the Corleones. The Strachey territories were divided among loyal caporegimes. The family name disappeared within 3 years. Absorbed. Erased. Forgotten. No one even remembers Victor Strachey anymore. Just another Don who underestimated Michael Corleone and paid with everything. The Barzini family fragmented into a dozen small crews. They fight among themselves, battle over scraps, struggle to survive. The puppet master who orchestrated Vito's shooting, who arranged Sonny's murder, who believed he would rule New York. His legacy is chaos and irrelevance. Las Vegas transforms completely. After Mo Green's death, Michael takes total control. The casinos expand, new hotels rise. The desert becomes a gold mine. Everything Mo built, everything he protected, everything he died for, now just another revenue stream for the Corleone empire. The politicians learned quickly. When Michael calls, they answer. When Michael requests, they comply. When Michael suggests legislation, it passes. The judges Vito cultivated. The connections Vito built. Michael inherited them all and expanded them. Senators, governors, federal judges. The political machine runs on Corleone money and Corleone influence. The legitimate world accepts the new reality. Businessmen partner with Corleone enterprises. Banks loan to Corleone companies. Investors fund Corleone projects. No one asks questions. No one investigates too deeply. No one wants to learn what happens when you look too closely at how Michael Corleone makes his money. Kay stays in the marriage but lives separately. She has the children, has the house, has the appearance of family, but she knows the truth, knows what her husband is, knows what he did. She makes peace with it, raises the children, plays the role, accepts that she married into something she can never escape. The college boy she fell in love with disappeared that Saturday morning in church, replaced by something colder, something harder, something that frightens her. Connie eventually forgives Michael, forgives him for Carlo, forgives him for the violence, forgives him for everything. She transforms over the years. becomes harder herself, becomes Michael's ally, his confidant, his sister again. She understands now, understands that Carlo had to die, understands that Sonny's death demanded blood, understands that family loyalty requires sacrifice. Tom Hagen builds the infrastructure that sustains it all, creates legitimate businesses, establishes charitable foundations, develops political relationships, makes the Corleone family respectable, makes them powerful, makes them untouchable. He is the bridge between the violence and the legitimacy, between the old world and the new, between what the family was and what it is becoming. The underworld whispers Michael's name with fear, with respect, with awe. The stories spread, become legend, become myth. How he planned the baptism massacre for years. How he eliminated 5 dons simultaneously. How he stood in church renouncing Satan while his soldiers killed across the city. The audacity, the ruthlessness, the perfection of execution. Young mobsters study what Michael did, try to learn from it, try to replicate it. They fail. The baptism massacre was unique, a singular moment, a perfect storm of planning and timing and ruthlessness that can never be repeated. Michael Corleone did something no Don before him accomplished. Total dominance, complete control, absolute power. But the cost is visible in Michael's face, in his eyes, in the way he moves through the world. He won everything and lost something essential: his humanity, his warmth, his capacity for joy. Vito built an empire while remaining human, while loving his wife, while playing with his grandchildren. Michael builds an even greater empire but becomes something less than human in the process. The old-timers remember Philip Tattaglia, remember him as a cautionary tale, a warning, a lesson. He believed alliance with Barzini made him powerful, believed the peace treaty made him safe, believed that 9 years of quiet meant the danger past. He believed all of this and died because of it. Died in a Long Island bungalow with a woman whose name no one remembers. Died thinking he was protected. Died learning that protection was always an illusion. The lesson spreads through the underworld, through every family, every crew, every soldier. Never underestimate a Corleone. Never assume peace means forgiveness. Never believe that time erases debt. Michael Corleone waited 9 years, waited patiently, waited until every piece was in position, then struck with a precision that redefined what revenge means in organized crime. The FBI's files on the baptism massacre grow to thousands of pages. Witness statements, forensic reports, surveillance photos, theories and speculation. They know Michael ordered it. Know he planned it. Know he orchestrated every detail. But they can never prove it, can never connect him directly, can never build a case that survives in court. Michael's planning was that thorough. His execution was that perfect. Congressional hearings investigate mafia activity. They call witnesses, demand testimony, threaten prosecution. The witnesses invoke the Fifth Amendment, or claim ignorance, or disappear before testifying. The investigations go nowhere, produce nothing, change nothing. The politicians make speeches, the prosecutors make promises. The world keeps turning, and Michael Corleone keeps building his empire. By 1965, 10 years after that Saturday morning, the transformation is complete. The old mafia is dead. The 5 families' structure is historical artifact. The commission is a memory. Now there is only the Corleone Empire, and Michael Corleone. And the lesson that Philip Tattaglia learned 3 seconds too late, that Don Emilio Barzini learned on courthouse steps, that they all learned in blood and death and irreversible consequence. The lesson is simple. The lesson is eternal. The lesson is written in the history of organized crime forever. A patient man with a long memory is more dangerous than any weapon. A man who plans for years is more deadly than any soldier. A man who waits for the perfect moment is more frightening than any immediate threat. Philip Tattaglia believed he was protected, believed his alliance with Barzini made him untouchable, believed that backing Sollozzo's heroin trade was good business, believed that peace meant safety, believed he could shoot Vito Corleone and face no consequences, believed all of this with absolute certainty, and died because every single belief was wrong. Michael Corleone taught the underworld a new lesson that Saturday morning in September 1955. Taught them that Vito's way was finished, that the old rules no longer applied, that the new godfather plays a different game, a colder game, a more ruthless game. A game where patience is weapon and memory is ammunition and revenge is served not hot but frozen. The college boy everyone dismissed became the most powerful Don in American history. The son who wanted nothing to do with the family business built an empire that dwarfed his father's. The man who stood in church renouncing Satan proved he understood evil better than any demon. And Philip Tattaglia, the pimp, the puppet, the fool who believed he was a king. He lies in a Brooklyn cemetery. His name is forgotten. His family is absorbed. His legacy is dust. No one remembers him except as a cautionary tale, as a warning, as the man who proved that in Michael Corleone's world, there is no such thing as protection, no such thing as safety, no such thing as being untouchable. They say power corrupts. They say absolute power corrupts absolutely. But the real lesson is simpler, deadlier, more permanent. Never mock a man who has the patience to wait 9 years for revenge. Never underestimate a man who plans while you celebrate. Never believe that peace means he forgot. Never assume that silence means he forgave. Michael Corleone forgot nothing, forgave nothing, and when he moved with a completeness that redefined what power means. 5 Dons. One morning, one perfectly executed plan. The baptism massacre. The day the old mafia died. The day Philip Tattaglia learned his final lesson. That in the end, Barzini's protection was worth nothing. The peace treaty meant nothing. 9 years of quiet changed nothing. And the college boy everyone dismissed became the godfather everyone fears.